The mud skipper also senses what is happening and crawls along in search of the tidewater. The Grapsidae family escape the tide by climbing a tree, a natural shelter provided by the mangrove forest. The entocolags also make their way up a tree, and they'll stay there until the tide recedes again. The fiddler crab is something of a sophisticated builder. It digs out a small piece of silt to cover the entrance to its cave before the tide covers the area. This way, it can be certain that there will be some air inside, even if its home is flooded. With the mudflat completely covered by the tide, the mangroves form a forest on the sea. Common land plants die in salt water, even if the saline content is only a tenth that of seawater. With all its salt, the environment in which the mangroves grow could be described as the driest in the world. The tide, checked by the seashore, produces wave after wave. By contrast, in the mangrove forest all is peace. The mangrove's strong root systems neutralize the power of the waves and protect the croplands behind them. The high tide makes it very difficult for the egret to find food. Even though it lives beside the sea, it cannot swim, so it stands cautiously in the fishing net, waiting for some small fish to be trapped. The fishing season hasn't started yet. The boats are tied up in the shelter of the Gulf to escape the heavy waves. A rainstorm arrives, providing an opportunity for the mangroves to absorb some fresh water. But the rain causes problems for the egrets. Many simply stay at home waiting for the rain to stop. The egrets out looking for food are caught in the heavy rain. Their chicks must wait helplessly in their nest. The thick foliage protects them from some of the rain, but the chicks have yet to develop their parents' waterproof feathers, and so they are soaked. Their body temperature is falling. The mother egret hides her young under her wings to protect them from the rain and keep them warm. But while such tropical rainstorms are fierce, they also tend to be short-lived. After sunset, the egrets that have been out searching for food fly back to feed their young. While the chicks are still young, the egret parents work as a team, taking it in turns to look after the family. Every day the tide rises and falls, flooding the mangrove forest periodically. The rhythm of the tide is governed by the movement of the moon. Tens of millions of years of evolution have taught the living creatures in the mangrove forest to adapt to the change. Originally, mangroves lived on dry land, but eventually the rivers carried their seeds to the mudflat. There, to adapt, they learned to extract fresh water from seawater and to discharge the salt. After millions of years of natural selection and evolution, every mangrove has developed into a sensitive desalinator. Its effectiveness is linked to the higher concentration of their body fluids in their root system. This produces negative high pressure that can extract fresh water from salt water and prevent the salt from entering their bodies. The mudflat is, in fact, very dry. To preserve the water in their bodies, the mangroves must maintain an accurate number of leaves in their crowns. The excess leaves will wither away and become food for the Grapsidae, along with the petals that fall to the ground in the rainstorm. However, there are just a few petals on the ground, and only the quickest of the crabs will enjoy this particular windfall.